Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Manichean series of Crusader Cakes 3 here on the Lord Master channel. It's been a while since I last recorded the video of this, which I'm talking about recording dates rather than when videos were published. In which I want to say something right now. That the reason I haven't been recording the past couple of days wasn't just, playing other games. Or one of which that I'm now discouraged from uploading any more of those for the foreseeable future, which is fine by me, which means more time for me to come back to here for Crusader Kings and all that, especially with the ongoing Manichean series due to, relevance at that time. It's just, well, since Friday, I believe, yeah, since Friday or Thursday, one of those damn days, likely Friday, that my father had COVID, and so we had to quarantine ourselves slightly. I say slightly, I mean I just wore a mask a couple of days, so I did not want to record any of those days. But he's gotten better now, as today is Monday, so he's gotten better fairly quickly and all that. I didn't contract any illness or anything. I still feel relatively the same as I always have been. And same for my brother and my mother. So yeah, we're all doing well right now. Well enough for me to, get back to recording without the fear of anything else or doing any other, other games to record videos with, which I'll put my full focus on this from now on. So I hope you are looking forward to all that for the continuation of the Manichean series for the time being, because I've already said in a recent post on my YouTube channel that I'm kind of interested in doing the next video series after the Manicheans, which is going to be down in Nubia, even though it's fully controlled by Egypt, the Tulanids, as you look at the kingdom tells. Tulanid, Egypt, and then there's Nubia. So that region that I've mentioned, that's going to be part of an upcoming rice flavor pack, which is actually one of the biggest updates yet, based on those dev diaries that they've been posting. So, yeah, whenever that comes out, which I hopefully before the All Under Heaven DLC, which will, expand the world map to Far East Asia, in which I would love to do one more series, one more playthrough before we go to the east, and that's go back to Africa and do the Nubian series, especially with the features such as the Nile River situation and the Bakht situation, and as well as other little goals and all that, decisions and all that good flavor. It's just too inviting for me to ignore. But I'll bring it up again whenever I get closer to the end of that series. So again, it's just something that'll be noted for what's to come for the future of my YouTube channel, as well as subsequent other videos from other games that's not named Project Bounty for the time being. But nevertheless, let's get down to some business, as this begins the reign of Rondambre Kubasar of the Uyghur Khanate. He's 46 years old, so he started much later than past rulers, because we had a long-lived Nabrena or Khatun by the name of Sati, which she lived up to 77. She had a very long reign, and she was the one that created this Uyghur Khanate and all that. But now there's me. I have 4 children. Tomo is my son-in-law, along with the other sons-in-laws, Uzo and Visma. So we're expected to split in little kingdoms to give away within the empire, but I still get the imperial title, which I'm not too terribly worried about that. And also even contemplating on the idea, which is something I've said in the last few episodes of this about whether or not if I should turn this realm into a administrative government. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, it could be either a benefit or to our detriment, especially when it comes to realm management and micromanagement and all that. In which sometimes I have to remind you viewers that I have no prior practice in playing administrative, because I never did a playthrough on Byzantium nor in the GUI circuit areas, which the latter part is when you have Rice active as one of your mods. That one goes administrative too, rather than just Byzantine Empire or the extra administrative realms that you put on the settings at the beginning of a gameplay. But now my priority here is, well, keep the realm stable, and hopefully we can continue our little golden age that was started by my mother, Sati, which I will give her a magnificent funeral very soon. And also I did some looking, because, you know, I would like to have divided attention. Give me another domain limit, since we are, you know, above domain limit. So this gets my better judgment, since I'd like having more holding taxes. We ought to reset the perks, which I only gain 3 stress because of my learning skills too dang high, where you don't have to worry about that. I'll lose this out, unfortunately, but to make up for it, you're going to pick up architect for this. Cheaper building construction costs and less time to do so, so let's do that instead. And popular opinion up to prevent peasant revolts. And you're up the domain limit, and then you're the architect. And if I'm going to be around for much longer, I mean, it would be nice to have administrative for, you know, increased vassal opinion a bit. And it's nice to know, see a little bit of plague resistance, which I didn't notice that part. I do like money, so I think you should go for golden obligations, and then when you pick up more of that stewardship perks, you should get these. Now perhaps eventually, especially with domain tax and more holding taxes, you can make a lot more. And of course, subsequently, do some traveling, because, you know, especially when you get an inspector for more domain taxes up, every little bit helps. So I'll say that my reign, we're not expected to fight in wars of expansion anytime soon, unless we've lost a piece of land that was an integral part of our Khanate and needs to be restored. But for now, my priority is to give my mother, Sati, a grand funeral. And it will be held right here in Vamna, because it's a holy site and a grand temple is built here. This is a major religious building and holy site, which will give me a lot more piety. This is from my mother. Extravagant ceremonies, major piety gain, legitimacy and stress loss. Death has come to a great person of the realm. Do they not deserve everything we can provide? No expense shall be spared for the funeral ceremony, that all shall know the great tragedy has struck the realm. Paragon of Virtue would be good. So it'll demonstrate piety. Over 40 is invited, but some will choose to decline. So you could say, yes, I want neighboring rulers as well to travel far and come to Vanna. Not everybody's going to be there, though, but just travel as you can, because this is a moment that the world mourns, not just here, but elsewhere, and to those that know her and loved her, or even hated her. But nevertheless, Vamna is to be Sati's final resting place. I was left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. I'll never forget her. Let's do it. There are whispers about the tales and deeds of my mother. Exalted among men, Sati, everywhere I go, near or far, there seems there's nobody who has not heard of her name. I wonder, will I always stay in the shadow of my mother, or will I be able to achieve as much fame in my life as her? How high will I be able to climb? Use the humble trait. No, you're gonna need that for the vassals. I'm not that ambitious. No, he'll say, I'm glad to have such a famous mother. A famous mother that we can all be proud of. Liberty faction and an independence faction. Oh, that's way over there. Nothing to be concerned about here. Even as it spreads, it will not reach here. Manichean nomads. Nothing we can do about that. Because that is at my vassals, the nomad vassals' behest. Wants to make scale armor. Don't they already have armor somewhere? It's masterwork armor. So there's no reason to use that. No reason to get new armor. Unless it's someone who's very, very good at their craft. Oh wow. About to have a fifth child. Despite the fact that I'm known for being impotent. But it seems I still got it. Overhaul wants a nomadic ruler. That's from way over there, the areas that I don't really care about. The sorrowful line marches on. The line to have a last moment with Sati of the Uyghur Khanate, the last whisper, the last long goodbye, the last nothing, the last place anyone will see her again. Truly it is a privilege to be here. The line brings me ever closer until at last the figure in front of me parts, and there is nothing but a veil between me and her. We're all the guests stood here, which includes some of my vassals here and Courtiers, and those from other realms, including as one landless adventurer. It would be wise to keep your vassals in mind, so I'll say speak of her virtues. This isn't about, anything on her sex, this is about talking about her who is, and all that. Impressed by my core artifacts, thank you very much. Renowned blacksmiths and Dokkan in Danglan. The blacksmiths in Dokkan have gained renown in recent years for the quality of their craft. This surely bodes over their livelihoods and for the local economy. I've heard good things about the armor and weapons produced here. So, for 20 years. And over there, more holding taxes, development for them, and buildings are cheaper over there. But I can, again, employ renowned blacksmiths or armies to get military benefits. Tea vendors praise me as they gave me stewardship and better development growth here. Thank you very much. I obviously we're busy with the funeral. This is just a reminder. They would like to have supplies to the armies. Always go for the opposite, especially since we're the Silk Road Empire, basically. Oof. Tells a fantastic joke about whips. What? The time has now come to commit Sati of the Uyghur Khanate's final rites before her final journey into the hereafter. Sati's enshrouded body is held suspended above an open grave surrounded by close friends and family. Stood at her head is me. A privileged place of mourning afforded to the only magnanimous host. To see her surrounded by so many mourners and given a proper Manichean burial gives me hope that perhaps I too will be remembered as fondly as at last her body is lowered unto the earth and her funeral is officially completed with a prayer. Beautiful. Ordained. What a party! It is done. That event expired. I can start doing other things now. Hang on. Right. Let's reinforce relations with Silk Road communities, even though our stewardship is very good. Enough to get us up in the domain limit, +1 perk. And divided attention. Militarily, we're good. Probably for once, just give us East Asian, since we just mentioned East Asian earlier. The people of the Eastern Lands are said to be erudite and just. They may also have connections to the Middle Kingdom itself. Would it not be wise for you to seek their aid and friendship? So this option gives you increases the amount of and receiving gifts of prestige and renown, and unlocks decisions to bring in East Asian specialists. The lands and cities of the so-called Silk Road have been a vibrant melting pot of different peoples for generations, even perhaps before the rise of empires of Han, Rome, or Persia. Thanks to these extensive networks, there are flourishing communities with origins from across Eurasia, even in my realm. Cooperating with them may be helpful if I am to achieve my ambitions. So in particular, I decided to reinforce relations with the East Asian communities in my realm. A lot of these people come from the lands of far away, particularly the Middle Kingdom, which is claimed by many for being a land of justice and learning. One that has no equal among the realms of the world. Their knowledge and connection to the East will prove advantageous. Now, bring in the East Asian specialists. Now that I've been networking with the local East Asian communities in my realm, I should ask them to help me to find talented people from their homelands to come here, from scholars to engineers, strategists, and technographers. There are so many kinds of experts on a farm who I can entice to work for me. So for doing that, you gain a bit of renown, 25, and you bring an East Asian specialist for 10 years. +1 stewardship, learning, reduced title creation costs, vassal opinion goes up as well as a bit of popular opinion, save for stability reasons. Several experts in the Middle Kingdom or nearby lands influenced by their culture have been recruited to work for this character. They possess a variety of skills related to administration, law, public works, strategy, and more. I'm in great need of talented people. In the present era, there are many along the Silk Road who believe that the peoples of the Far East to be experts in administration and skilled in the fine arts and learning. Perhaps such an assessment is a great exaggeration, based on fanciful tales and questionable stereotypes, but there is no doubt that many talented people live in those regions. Anyways, due to my connections with the local East Asian community, I come into contact with some rather talented individuals with abilities in a wide variety of fields, ranging from poetry to hydraulics, history, agriculture, military logistics, and more. A number agreed to work for me in my administration. So their skills will greatly assist me in managing my territories. Right, that's one. I don't have anything that would be worth confessing unless I murdered somebody, but that's neither here nor there. I'm largely a good man. I've been a good boy when I was little. So you get the idea of what that would be like. So your legitimacy is excellent. So vassals will look at you highly. Well, since there is time, you should go spend a good part of your money on going to your local university, right here in Taberna, where I don't have to travel to other places like Srinagar to get educated. So I'm willing to spend that amount of money to study hard. So here, the nomadic revolt may occur in 10 months, even though I'm more than willing to say, here, the land is yours, I don't care about that. And then, and I'll use this free time to go to here. I'm finally here, walking in the hallowed halls of Vanna, revered seat of all knowledge of the Manichean world. I have so much to learn from the holy men and women who gathered between these venerable walls. And what about all the ancient scrolls and books? Of Of course, major centers of culture are also active markets offer all the distractions that a student could ever desire. Time to get started. Daughter. Huh. What do you think? Safali. That's a Saka name. I like the sound of that name. Some are genuine Manicheans, except this one teacher who is Tibetan and is of that unreformed Bonpo faith. Okay. Alright, after all, we do live close to the area where they're like that. Vamna is often home to fervent debates among teachers and students alike. After a particularly enlightening lecture from our teacher Sambolta, I find myself dragged into one such debate with another student. Cho. No, you're making no sense. You're completely misrepresenting the philosopher's point, I scream. You are completely delusional, he fires back. In the corner of my eye, I see Sambolta stare at us with a pensive look on his face. But, as the master said, as I quote the classics, 99% chance that yours convince, and my studies become much more successful. Bingo. Off to a good start. Sambolta, one of the most respected teachers in Vamna, is clearly a foreigner. Is he? Oh yeah. Yes. I forget who's who because I didn't pay attention to names. His accent and manners betray him as a bald paw. While not strictly necessary for my studies, learning his mother tongue would foster a privileged relationship with him. It's not to be a good investment in the future. I don't speak that many languages, so this will bring me closer to the Magister. 95% chance I learn his language, Baltskad, form a closer relationship with him, and the university visit would become much more successful, and did. The halls of the University of Vamna often echoes of the debates of students and teachers, some which escalate to notorious rivalries, like between Savolja and Paku. When I find a debate, they are, as usual, screaming at each other, trying to prove whose field of study is better equipped to discuss what geometrical shape is more apt to represent the divine. Something less usual, however, is that they suddenly notice me and approaching me to ask me to take a position. I believe there are great merits in both disciplines. There's an 85% chance that they are convinced and pleased by my thesis and become much more massively successful. So I'll never become my friend and closer friendship with them. However, 40% chance they think I'm just muddying the waters. I impress the teachers. I'm thankful for my high knowledge. I'm suddenly distracted by a midnight studies of a loud crash, an ear-deafening slam, and an expensive-sounding shatter. What in the world is going on? I got to the source of the disturbance appears to be two peasants. The father of greatness knows how they got in here. Perhaps they gulped down a barrel of the university's imported tea. SLHM. Oh no, such. Yeah, they think they're better at us just because they can raid the other rebels. Pamiri and a Kimak. A Muslim and a Buddhist. Poor unfortunate souls, I'll see that you learn how to read. I'll spend 50 gold, spend prestige. My university has become much more successful. These two men here will join my court and increase their learning. Today, our teacher's technology begins. We're going to examine the anatomy of a falcon. The excitement spreads to the lecture, so I appreciate the hooded bird standing proudly on the teacher's cloud down. Much can be learned by studying the body of animals, as the ancients taught us. Does anyone want to help me with the dissection demonstration? I gain no stress because you are humble. But you're much more successful, but at this point I think you're already very much successful as you'll gain perfect studies. I'll just say, very interesting. You're already gonna get what you wanted. What? There's static wild on my son. Doing his eyes. Ask him what he has seen, not a word passes. It seems that his alternative treatment has gone horribly wrong. What have you done to him? Or you just made him ill, or is it just a bad treatment? Oh, I see. He picked up the paranoid trait. I think that's what it was. That's what may be it. Because I remember him, having 3 traits on. It's probably due to that result, right? Oh, here it is. Yeah, he gained a paranoid trait and botched the disease treatment. What is of her aptitude? 1 sec. Well, she's not infirm, so I'll just say this will not happen again. You understand me? You got that? Valna is a renowned center of studies that hosts both teachers and students from near and far. I hardly thought of it much until today, when a religious reference was symbol struck me as hard as blasphemous and contrary to everything I've been taught in my life. You revealed him as a Carbonpo, an actual infidel. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't care as long as he has something to teach. Because of my study hard at 10. Gained some of that stewardship lifestyle experience and studies become much more successful. Well, this has been such an amazing experience. When I left, I couldn't even imagine the number of wise men that study at Havana. The depth of their thinking, the breadth of their search, just being part of the same environment made me a much better person. With my new gained knowledge, I can finally make my way home very satisfied. However, during my stay, I've grown close to one of my teachers, and I love the right ways already. You would be a great addition to my court, I guess. Just to have him around. Wish I could have you too. But, subsequently, I picked up the things, yes. The results. Which was 3 perks and about to have another one. Vassal tax contribution. Republican vassal tax contribution, as in mayors. Income while level would be good to have. Don't have any dread, but it's something to have. Which will be perk number 4. And also became Midas touched. That's good. You're doing well, son. Don't you worry. They made you paranoid, and I hope you'll get rid of that trait soon. Because it's not a good thing to have. Unless you want to go to confession for that. And you know what? Let's hold court. My patriarch stood there, now bows before me, eager to begin his prose. My lord, your Pata of culture lacks a significant temple at which the locals can pray in honor of the founder of greatness. You must help fund a new house of worship at Yido for the good of the Manichean faith. You know what? Yeah, I have the money for that. Start the construction of the capital in Yido. 320 gold will be refunded if construction is manually cancelled. So when the temple's complete, it'll be very good. You got it. I am faced with Kochakos Kurosabachi's sad eyes, which grow larger, more pitiful as the cranes Tisharik Shita, and gently ushers them towards my throne. Rodan, the boy has been at Sirak's court with no one to watch over since his disappearance in Tirpal. Please look to his future. What can be doing such a child? My hands are full, but I'll find him a home. My lord, steward, Exxon speaks of. I propose a cadastral survey of all the counties you own. Improved knowledge and mapping the land will certainly increase its prosperity. Very well. You may proceed. Development increases. Oh yeah, forgot this book I got. Find Making Gold. A beautiful tome that shows an excellent understanding of stewardship as it touches upon subjects such as tax collection. The cover is wood that has been painted to display a repeating image of patterns and decorations known as the Uyghur style. You can have that off. Fine, making gold. And look, domain limit up again. Next to being Midas touched. What else I could blow my money up? We do have a master hunt, yes. Go over there. That'll be a place to hunt. Get me a mountaineer. Makes travel less dangerous. And why not bring Silk Road merchants so I could make more money? Despite my low prowess, it's just something for me to do and as an excuse to get me to travel somewhere. Why not? As we sit by the campfire after a long day, a group of travelers approaches us in the dark. A band of knights led by a proud-looking man. Each one of the knights looked richer than the next. My lord, it's my pleasure to meet you. I am Bas of the Army of Light. We've been on a journey to get to Vamna. We need some rest before the last stretch. We may share a campfire. come, enjoy our campfire and tell us of your travels. Got a wee cook on it, which I don't know if that would. Huh. Like say, if I want that man in court, I could use that hook to get him over here because, like a young age, he should serve in my court. Now that's a warrior of the light. Whilst walking through the streets of Khagan, we see a throng of little peasant kids gathered around an old man down the small side street. Several of them are waving around little misshapen wooden swords and are yelling excitedly as they're trying to hit him. Who would be impressed by footwork like that, eh? Toads to us after teasing one of the kids. Our remarks are very good. You want to join as well, my lord? I think you might be a bit older than my usual group. You're 60, I'm 47. What are you talking about? This isn't gonna work. Sure, I'll give it a go. 8% chance I'll become an aspiring blade master, but 91% chance that I'll lose a duel, but it helps hone my skills for the upcoming hunt, yeah. I'm willing to get it up a bit. Wild animals came to our camp last night while we were in Khagan. No one was hurt, but they did ransack some of our food supplies. We'll buy from the locals, we got money, and lots of it. The inn we stayed in was surprisingly a wonderful place. I don't know what the inn or its staff did right, but something about the inn allowed most of us to sleep through the night so peacefully. This morning there are smiles on the faces of many in my entourage as we prepare to leave. What a wonderful place this was. While we're resting along the road in Khagan, again, we're still here. When a traveling Dorada bard happens to pass by, she introduced herself as Machi Alinga. One of my guards offered the woman a few coins in exchange for some damage to me. Then she sang through several songs in the local Nudistani dialect. There was little doubt about her talent. The melancholy songs touched our hearts deeply, and the joyful songs roused our spirits. I'll try to note down the songs I like. Finally out of Khagan. I noticed that Joe avoids it more than usual. So always sits the opposite end of the table whenever we ride to her feast and constantly refuses my company while camping. We may not have the best relationships, but that attitude is starting to tire me, especially when over here defaming me. Kubasar is a squeamish fop doodle. I'd be way better than that. Is that the window here? Ill. Again, if I do happen to get sicker, remember who the son there is. Tuma. Which I'm sure he'll get better himself, and no. He kept paranoid and got rid of the other trait. He might be a potential hindrance. As you prepare to set off in the morning, I see some both stand outside the camp all alone. As I walk over to talk to them, I notice a change in the wind. The warm wind rustles my clothes for a second, and I notice the pleasant sunlight shining down my camp. The sign of warm days come. It's about time for summer, huh? No. Get back on your horse. We gotta get out of this place. Oh, hell. As we manage to get through the dangerous pass in Ishkamish, suddenly a strange feeling that someone is missing bothers me. I remember the city Chilbo all day. He was keeping the rear guard as we head to the war-torn province. I suppose that wasn't the best idea, knowing his bravado. He's probably already gunning for the front lines, unless he's just lost somewhere else. It's a man of search party himself. We found him. Songs of Amir Hafez. As we travel through the outskirts of Zabak, we suddenly see a jovial man in the distance, jumping, dancing, and singing to himself. Seems like quite a character. Would you like to hear me some songs about Hafez, the swine of the Pamiri court? He yells out as soon as we get within shouting distance. Well, time to answer, he starts singing a merry tune about the depravities of Hafez. Oh, look at you! You are probably quite a guy. You seem like an interesting man. How'd you like to join me as my court musician? You'll be useful. Rex! All better. My steward, Extronid Minai, bows briefly before me and explains what the status is. My lord, you might remember that some months ago you invested a large sum of gold to the cadastre of your counties. On press advised the matter, I could proudly say that the job is done. Gold well spent. Development growth. Every held county mapped of wilderness. Excellent! No longer bow beneath your yoke of oppression. We proud nomadic alcoholics were born to roam free beneath these endless skies. With Adamas, the light guiding our riders, we shall break from your pathetic rule and reclaim our place in the open steppe. As I said before, I honestly really don't give a damn about that place. Like, all this is yours. So I'll say, fine. My realm is no place for your unwashed herds. You'll all be paying tribute to me anyhow. And yes, I dropped that level of fame. It'll be restored one day. We did this just to trim the fat of the realm. Because the areas that has nomadic government in there, you know, the honor type is feudal, we just simply want them out of here. Stick to initial agreements. It's a month's worth. Before we arrive to arrive the rest of the guests, my servants can get started preparations. The gamekeeper checks the highlands every day for signs of quarry. I'll establish a camp close on to us. Those deer are close. I could feel it. Another 6 months to wait for those idiots. Yeah, I'm a little tired myself. It's just I didn't sleep well that much, but don't worry, it'll be worth it. I'll probably be more awake as the episode progresses. Alright. Savanaka Vindu resembles the party as the sun rises over the camp and the valleys in the Riga. Men have been gathering the sightings of the stag that roam the local area. Many gamekeepers and flushers been pouring over the area for tracks and fumes. Well, there is sadly no sign of the buck in the area, but there's evidently plenty of deer. Let's see if the rumors are true. Let's get out there. I impregnated my wife again. It says that I'm impotent. My vassal Abraham is crouched down on the ground at me cheerfully, picking foxgloves. Appears to have lost interest in the hunt. Remember, what a bounty of nature. Look at these plants. Truly the wealth of the earth knows no bounds. We do not appreciate these simple treasures enough. Get back on your horse. We're here for the stag. Poachers here at Beggs Island. They huddle together as I ride up my guards, making a poor job of hiding dead antelope behind. We do not do this, please. Have mercy, glorious on them. Their blades and bows value their words. They will hang, and the villagers will pay. Sagarak's no longer my master horse, and he was my marshal. For once, let's get us a competent one. It's start training commanders. We don't have much military men, good military men these days. My vassal Savanok Vendu's first spotted the flighty male is hard to distinguish. There's no doubt it's there, observing us through the dense trees. It locks eyes on me, though, and also though the animal since my attention suddenly takes out a fresh brown fur. Steady, mind the cliff, safety first. After hours of riding, we finally cornered the wily beast. The chase has not been in vain. Exhausted, panicked down turned the bay, struggling to stand in panic. You know what, I'll break it down myself. Take this, brute. This will greatly increase the hunter trade experience. 43% chance of beast slain, 34% chance of wounds, 20% chance that it kills me. Let's do it! I hit my spear, cautiously moved towards the hostile. I chose my move carefully, plunging my blade deep to its heart. Take that! Gotcha, you bastard. Hunts like these are pure joy. Cannot wait for next year. There's nothing quite like the thrill of bringing down a mighty beast. This year, Pumna Hinaza directs to break it up, clumsy skin at the carcass before later the game masters take over. Replace the eager dog as a sheer disposal and stretch hide before departing for camp and home. Wild hide. 16. That's pretty good. Sludge pelt will be an excellent conversation piece. It's probably going to be one of my fewest hunts we had. I sometimes wish my son was out hunting, but his paranoia would be the death of him if he doesn't get his act together. And plus, needed an excuse to travel. The customs of the Turk will have to light Vax. Quite something. As through this region, we've stopped by a couple of taverns along the way. At every stop, we've been fortunate to witness some of the local music and dances, and my entourage has found them quite charming, if not exciting. Some Overhaul exists, for instance. He even tried learning some of the local dances. He seems to be pretty good at it. These so-called dances are not worth my time. I'm trying to get my fame back. I am so not like my mother, which she was fame crazy. Pass through the back alley, John. I see a lonely child and our dog sitting behind a corner of a small wall. Sitting in a corner behind a small wall. Here you go, Valor. Tells us she has a small piece of bread given up himself. Look at the two. Clearly the dogs were taken much better with Sony. You can't breastfeed you. Everything she could find. I don't have time for filthy orphans trying to get home. We have heard that Shogunan shows the land lousy with holy men and traveling in impoverished conditions, living often on faith alone. One such Manicheans approached our caravan, preaching his own mystic, esoteric philosophy, and at any who will listen. The impoverished creature seems to loathe part of our party, but perhaps I could get rid of him. I'm a master debater, but I lost the debate on that one. Didn't do that. As we wind along the outskirts of Saka, I see a trail of caravan camels in the distance as we meet this strange leader. Good evening to you, worthy friend. Come in, come in. I promise that what happened to my soul, like Vamna herself, I wonder what it seems. She says, showcasing countless shiny trinkets before my eyes. Mysterious puzzle. The extravagant golden puzzle coded in engravings in a foreign language, said to belong to a powerful game master. Inventory artifact. If you are stressed, you get more learning. Perhaps we can make a deal. Failed to haggle and had to spend more just to get that. Ah, well, it's something to have around. Don't know about ever using it unless you plays a character who's prone to stress. You know, like my son. While traversing a challenging path of Khagan, I hear laughter ahead. My friend Samuel and my personal physician, Theocariste, are working together across a treacherous sand-filled gully. Samvolta. Your idea to build a makeshift bridge was brilliant, exclaims Theocariste. Samvolta replies with a chuckle, and you're quick thinking with those palm fronds tied together. Seems as this obstacle led to a new friendship. This will hasten our journey indeed. I just want to get home. That's all. Stop by a town in Khagan in my travels. The locals have shown me great esteem. The people here did not expect someone like myself to visit their humble settlement. And some of the local leaders suggested I spend a few days there. These leaders wish to show me around the area and leave a good impression on me about their town and its surroundings, as well as its people who dwell here. Thus, I have places to go to. The Lance of Tengri. I was wondering who those guys are. Oh yes, I'm home. Okay. What else can we do? Oh yes. Because this character's not gone on the pilgrimage. So we should do a little pilgrimage to the caves. Which are... There'll be a religious observance because I'm going to need that prestige back. After, you know, giving the lands away to... So I'm going up there. And I will give out those offerings. And be a role model to gain more prestige. No need mountaineer. Customize routes, okay. When you're done with those caves, perhaps you should swing around to Morgal and Sube. Alright, so I'm just going to go to Kuchi. And we'll just travel around. That's what we're going to be doing, just travel around the realm a bit. Just to make me feel like I'm an active person. And simply for the sake of it, get mercenary guards just for increased speed and safety. Spending quite a bit. But hopefully we'll get all that money back by then. So it's nice to have a little bit of learning. Let's go. And the road is dusty and the journey is long, but the ancient caves have basically crowded for me. For centuries, the people who lived there carved caves into the fiery mountains, honoring and paying reverence to the Father of Greatness and the local deities. Many more traveled, winding out the Silk Road to come here as pilgrims, to worship true knowledge. I too will arrive at these old caves soon. Our journey through Bogavlik unveils sprawling pastures dotted with cattle. As my retinue pauses at the edge of the Vanatfield, the herdsman approaches, now cheerfully strumming his lute. He grants a broad smiling greeting. My lord, he begins, these beasts are proud of our province. May join me witness labor, restock your supplies, or perhaps partake in a famous Bogavlik blue cheese. Show me how you work your herds. That'll help us. Nature will provide for us. Not to worry. Only one time I've ever gotten 1% and died. That happened one time back in the old Sicily series. Here to make amends, please. I am not in a mood for your bull. And yes, shortcut. Love it. Twin sons. Oh my goodness. Much like Tomaruza, now we got more twins. Twin sons. Find Bokot and thinking. Bokot and Kochek. As I travel along the road, I notice a frail looking peasant standing on the side of the path. Inspect her more closely, she appears to be holding a small bundle. Please, hold for a moment. Times are tough since my spouse has passed. I'm at my wit's end. Would you be interested in buying my child? It pains me deeply. I cannot afford to keep her and must sell her to save what's left of my family. Her name is Alion. What lady delegate? I can only offer some coin. So, sorry. Don't want to care for the child. Especially when I raised it myself. Keep it up. A warm breeze cursed my legs. I wander around the orchards of Rick, Changwa. The trees stretch gently towards the sky, colored by a mixture of new suits and fruits taking shape. Suddenly a high-pitched shriek pierced the air, querying myself only to find a child below a tree, in shambles and sobbing violently. Who it seems he made an attempt to climb at the tree before slipping and falling to the ground. One of the bone pies are protruding at a strange angle. There. Soothe the child because I'm a rather humble man. Oh, nice. I recognize the anxious look on my servant's face. He's here to bring me bad news. My lord, you must come quickly. Your vassal, Crusader, the Uyghur was just seen leaving the chambers of the royal architect. But he's blind. Who told him to go that way, or did he ended up there? He says, this can only mean one thing. So, the secret's exposed. Even though he's blind, he kind of stumbled upon that term and all that, or just he did that. Oh, okay. I find that silly to me. Music. As a child through the hills, it talks on. I hear a melody drifting gently across the landscape. A quick diversion off the path brings me a group of musicians playing their hearts out of what must have been some local Kushina music. Stop it and listen to your music. I find my heart filling with joy. I want to learn to play. Especially that increases my fertility up since I'm getting more children. Especially another set of twins. Lidge! He says. As I'm traveling, come upon two women arguing on the side of the road. One of them, a pretty young woman, appears to be beaten nearly half to death by a second, older woman. After stopping only for a moment, I listened on to quickly surmise that the older woman was accusing the young maiden of having some level relations with her husband. The young maiden is vehemently denying these claims. While I'm not immediately connected to this affair, as a lord, it would be an easy thing to intervene in one way or the other. Threaten that old hag back and have the young maid attended to. I mean, that's a beautiful woman that I think Tomor would love to have. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're already married to someone who's just as pretty. Hey, you should marry to this this woman. Hold on. Santa. You know, she's low-born, but still, beautiful children. Good to have. Meanwhile, I arrived at the case of basically. It is clear it isn't just Manicheans who arrived here. Worshippers of all sects who come to these caves. My entourage and I will rest for the night in nearby town that will proceed to the caves tomorrow. Now, it would be a good place to rest. a religious builder. Today I have entered the caves of Bezekli, particularly the ones dedicated to true knowledge. What wonder and delight! The artwork on the cave walls are old, cracked, and chipped. With the paint peeling off, I cannot help but gaze with a great sense of veneration. Sometimes it almost feels like they're dancing across stone, beckoning me to reveal the Father of Greatness even more. We stayed in caves for a long while, praying and performing the various Manichean rites. Praise to the Father of Greatness. My pilgrimage to the caves, because these old venerable caves are quite a sight. There's little doubt my matter will continue to attract devoted Manichean visitors such as myself for countless generations to come. I'm happy I could make it, got some prestige, and some renown for that, development growth, and pilgrim, more importantly. And now we just travel around the realm. Troubled the borderlands. Yeah, I can never get him back at them. One second. I'll read it in a moment. Okay. What are you doing? I asked Cleochrist. I found it hard to fall asleep tonight. Perhaps because traveling has disturbed my body's normal routine, so I stepped under the campfire. Cleochrist was awake as well, despite not having night watch duty at that moment, so I had to sat down next to her. With a contemplative look on her face, Cleochrist points the night against the stars. Sometimes I like to just stare at them. Magnificent, aren't they? I thank God I could witness such wonders every day. I'm sure you recognize some of the constellations. Is that the constellation of the scarf of the Adamas of Light? Huh. So a bit of increase of child safety and learning experience, which is nice. Keep with the initial agreements. I don't want to gamble for all that just yet. Especially that I'm trying to get more fame, which is about to come up pretty soon. Make a chest. Go ahead. Willing to invest in that. One thing I noticed as we passed through Malgal is that every other on-trial claims to be a philosopher. First, I'm skeptical about this. After being roundly outwitted in my third conversation, I start to think that there's something to their claims. The latest philosopher, Khan, is practically laughing at the latest types of logical argument. Why can't I personally learn? Slow! Going to be late again. 1 second. The fields of Dong Huang are a sight to behold. Every crop in bloom, every leaf green, every stem. I quickly tracked down the source of this potential. Spotting a woman standing in the field, seemingly holding a lecture of some sort at a gathering. His name is Mistress Vorozan. She noticed me in the distance and turns in my direction. My knowledge of gardening is vast. Yes, incomparably vast. So stay in a while and listen. Well, color me intrigued. I might become a gardener or just be more down there. Well, I'm a gardener now. +2 stewardship. And less stress gain. Right, angry man, leave me alone. Peaceful atmosphere is shattered by Bachman yelling as he storms to the courtyard. Bragu quickly follows, but stops and says, "My liege, please talk some sense to Bachman. I'm trying to help him since I have some working experience that may improve his work." The hell. Now leave him alone, please. Believe my efforts to impress have fallen flat. My friendship with Bachman is still standing on shaky ground. It's a mess. However, I got a brilliant idea. I'm my beneficiary at a dedication to masterpiece making. The flattered dedicatee will be touched by generosity, so no choice but to like me more. Well, we're not exactly friends, per se, but I'll find other ways to impress someone I want. %60%. You know what? Let's hack them. Damn it! Don't forget. Their stewardship or level devotion. It's jumped up a bit. The sun scorches in the dunes of Kuchi, each making a step a testament to endurance. Yet amidst this arid expense, and oasis of greenery blooms, an agricultural marvel in the heart of the desert. As we admire this anomaly, the stewards of these lands approaches with sun-worn song. Travelers, she calls out, come and witness the fruits of our labor. Perhaps you'll carry some tales of travel over the sands back to your homelands. We're basically about other peoples. Show us how you tame the desert, because I'm always for development growth in my capital. Today, during a private lunch with my spouse, I feel an eerie sensation in my spine now, when she suggests that Tomura is not fit to rule. Well, yeah, he's become rather paranoid lately. I mean, I'm kind of agree with you on that. She went about a long list of shortcomings that she finds in my ear, and attempt to persuade me the most sound reasoning. In the knowledge of my decision can have important political consequences in the future, then my spouse will not be at least heavy with refusal. I must make my mind on this. Listen, as good as you are, that paranoia is going to be your downfall. Now, for your twin brother, his elder, he's more of a man of intrigue, but still skilled. Room for improvement. And well-traveled, too. Stability or intrigue. paranoia versus not paranoid. I mean, the shy trait is better than paranoid in my personal opinion. But I don't want to have no angry spouse to hinder me down. So I will cede to her pressure. So I will disinherit Toma. The course is done because the spouse is neither compassionate, forgiving, nor just nor loyal. Well, who knows what goes on in her mind, but I believe she has every right to say that my son Tomo, yeah, ever since he picked up that paranoid trait when he got that mystical treatment, he was never the same. And I don't want to play as a character who is paranoid. So, do that. Be willing to disinherit him. He's gonna hate me for this, but I'm sorry. Your twin brother is the new heir. Though there is room for improvement for him in this man's young age. Damn it! As we traverse the arid plains of Haruka, the serene oasis comes into view. The wise elder reclined by the water notices our approach and gestures invitingly. Weary travelers, he begins, his voice soft and voice. Spirits of the desert can be harsh. Rest by our waters and let the camel's quiet strength restore you. Oh, damn. You seem wise. Why don't you join us? I know a cure. Got it. There we go. Now we're trying. Just we're about to set out, starts pouring down. Rain, as far as the eye could see. I can't help but curse my poor luck, but I had seen the dark clouds coming over. If we want to make our journey on time, we have to set out. But it's a risky journey with the weather being what it is. Rain in the middle of a desert, that's a good thing in itself. A little bit of rain won't hurt anyone. We gotta get moving. We gotta get home. It's been snowing for days now. The road ahead appears to be impassable. However, as I look ahead, I see a small group of people approaching us fast across snowdrifts. Soon a man stands before me and speaks with a wide grin. You seem to be in quite a predicament, but fear not. For a fair price, we will help you return your travels. Helping out is his own reward. And we got moving again. He joins us. Finally home. If you ever want to become administrative, this is how much it's going to cost you. And plus, you need to get that level of fame back up again. And you know what? Establish a trade route, because your stewardship is so excellent, there's no doubt you'll get it up. That's barely a fraction. And you can't go to university again until another 20 some odd years. Can't host another hunt for 5 years. Grand Tour's another way to travel, but that's going to take up too much of the video's time. Alright, the daughter of Tula. His children will not be inherited, man. So that's going to be through him. And his beautiful wife. Most of the commoners living in the Pata Dokan are of Han descent. Proud of their traditions, it does not sit well with them that they must serve a foreigner like myself when my neighbor Prakzi serves their culture and history. Teach the superiority of our ways. So Dan Huang is now officially Uyghur Vamna. Also, I failed to notice that, this one doesn't have a city. Let's make that an arrangement. Build that. And after that, well, we can build a shrine. That's something we should spend our money on. New holdings in my domain. And you have yours. You can invest. So why not over there? New city. New temple that they got. What was that other place that I also hold in my domain? Ah, yes. Over there. In Barakshan. New temple. For more renown gain. Yeah, I like that arrangement. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 over there. 7. Where would I like to get for, 7? Just to hold it personally. Who knows? As I have no plans to do any Rome expansion as of this time. And my friend just died. Something about old age. I mean, I knew he was old, but I didn't think he would be gone that soon. It was nice meeting him. And traveling with. He's visited a few places that he's never gone before. But now he has left this. I was about to say fine earth, but there is nothing fine about this earth from the Manichean view. Don't you know about the theology and how everything that works? About the material world? My lord, my beneficiary Bachman gestures me over to an object covered in fabric with a wide grin on his face. I've toiled many days and nights, and finally my work is done. He whips the covering off, and my eyes grow wide as I see what's underneath. A chest of masterful craftsmanship. It is constructed from oak planks. The wood is inlaid with boar tusk decorations. Very nice. This is lovely. We never had much in the way of furniture. Put that over there. That's the Uyghur Khanate chest. Well crafted. And I thought about starting a legend at some point in the future. But we used to have these great legend seeds. Also, Alliance of Basildale just passed. Good, another good man. Just build a keep it, and then it can only side. Hunnic heritage, which that special case is due to. Well, you gotta have the illustrious level of fame up. I mean, since I'm in pretty good health, I mean, I don't think I'm in a position to. If I was a much younger ruler, I would consider doing a legend. Well, those are at 30. Yet to have children himself, but not to worry. Not to worry. So yeah, surprisingly we kept the Rome stable. That's why I had to do a bunch of, traveling and other, activities and shit. But nevertheless. I forgot to determine Bhakti, to think about true knowledge. I forgot about that. Sometimes I forget that it exists. You know what Zarathustra it is? Because what the stewardship. Should have done that earlier. That's my predecessor. So my cousin set up by harsh laws to keep people in order in the Dread Heights. Time to be more positive with that. Provoke it. I think we're doing pretty good here. Screw it. Focus on my lifestyle and wealth management. Challenge the board game. Alright, now let's do one last thing before we'll end this episode, as I'm going to cut this short. Truck Yan Fan is already waiting to begin our little chess match. Sight waiting with competitive grams with the large across his features. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. If war was easy as chess, I'd rule the world by now. That's my opponent. But then that's just me. I've read entire manuals on chess. Match marches on. If I could turn well-worn traditional tactics. Do you think chess is a good practice for real administration? Questions my opponent. I've always rather thought so. Not that I'm not playing or anything, but I know rules chess like the back of my hand. Match marches on, and he's continuing to play straight out of Legend. Neck and neck, because the score is still 0 on the other side, so I gotta make a different move. I studied chess extensively, explains my opponent. Sorry to say that at this point, I don't think there's any way for you to win. Oh, damn. Alright, it's countered by intrigue, that's best. But it's counter-learned at its best. I just have to say, I'm unparalleled in the theory of chess. Alright, match marches on, and continuing a variety of feints, ploys. Naturally, my technique's cunningly formulated. I'm beating him handily, and this game is rapidly coming to a head. This is sudden death now. Oh well, sighs novel. I may not win this, but I give it my best. You think you can outthink me? With a smug smile, I placed my final piece on the board. The Father of Greatness has witnessed my triumph today. From the start, I had complete trust that the Father of Great wishes to receive me as a victor. There could be no other way. Not about the shallow house of a man's left of Yanfan. I can't believe I've won. Hey, let's play again sometime, huh? He agrees that it was a good time. So, I will actually cut this short right now. As again, I'm still trying to get for the lack of a better term, get my groove back in doing those videos again with Crusader Kings after I've been gone for a while. But don't worry. I'll get my drive again, and then I'll continue on the series for several more episodes before we'll put the series to a close and wait for the new one that I want to do whenever that future DLC and a future flavor pack or rice mod that comes with also. They both come, and then I'm going to be having a swing of time with that. But again, that could be a month or 2 months from now until that happens. So, anyways, we hope you people have enjoyed this this episode. And who knows what the future of this realm and this man's administration is going to be, other than continuing the golden age as it was before by the reign of my mother. So we'll see you in the next one. But until then, so long for now.